AKEEYO just released one of the most interesting dash cameras on the market, AKEEYO Eyes. The most noticeable feature is the dual front cameras that will make sure no detail or license plate is ever missed. It also has built-in advanced driver assist features that are powered by AI. Sounds promising, so let's check it out. All right, before we get started, let's take a quick look to see what we actually get in the box. So we have this carrying bag. All right, cool. We also have a 64 micro SD card that's included. Very useful because you do need a V30, which is going to be a slightly higher class memory card to make sure you actually get good footage and it's not going to be stuttery or anything like that. We also have an included hardwire kit. So this is very important if you want 24-hour recording or protection. All right, let's see what we have in the box here. So we have a 4-inch or 3.99 touchscreen. This is an IPS display, which is awesome, so it should look really nice at night. Sony started with 2 sensors, so that's really important, so you get actually good quality sensors. And yes, it's 2K for the wide angle, 2K for the long focus camera, and 2K resolution for the rear camera. So let's see what's in the box. All right, we got rear camera and the front camera. Let's check out the rear camera first. Wow, this feels nice. Very high-end finish. Smooth action here. It's definitely not going to drop when the car is shaking or moving around. And we have some adhesive in the back. We also have the cable for the rear camera, so this will go from the front camera to the rear. And finally, let's see what's in this main box. We have some electrostatic film, so that's really nice to see. We can put that on the glass in the car, and then the camera will stick to this instead of sticking to the glass. We have the power adapter that takes 12 to 24 volts. We have USB-A to USB-C cable for powering the camera, and another one of those, so maybe you can use one or the other depending if you need the long or the short cable. We have the little bracket that mounts onto the glass, and then the camera will mount to this. Couple of screws. We have a trim removal tool for routing the cables. Lots of extra adhesives by 3M. That's really nice, so these will actually work. We have another little bracket right here. Put that to the side. So let's finally look at the camera. I'm very excited. This is a very cool idea for the camera, so I want to see what it looks like and, well, how well does it function. Wow, that looks cool. It's actually smaller than I expected. I thought it was going to be huge. Let me take this off. So you can clearly tell there's 2 different lenses in there. On the left side, we have a power button. We have USB-C port for the rear camera. Emergency button on the side, so we'll store your recording without deleting it. We have a micro SD port at the bottom here. Reset button and a microphone port. And that's pretty much it. All right, so I was playing with the camera and I just figured out that this actually comes off. So you can have this very slim thing go on the windshield, or you can have one of these, so if your windshield is very shallow you can add it like that so it will be closer to the glass, so you can interchange these little brackets from that one to this one. And it's the same thing for the rear here. The reason there's 2 holes in here is because you can use the included screws to attach it more permanently to the vehicle. Very thought out design in a lot of this stuff I'm noticing so far. Let's get this installed, go over the menu and see what the footage actually looks like. I'm very excited. All right, so after inserting the micro SD card and formatting it, we are ready to go. It starts recording automatically and you're presented with this screen. So we have our wide angle camera, that's the main camera on the display right now. You have your zoom camera just right there, and of course we have the rear camera that I've installed on the inside behind tinted glass, so it's probably not going to do as well as it would if it was outside, and maybe I will relocate it to see what the difference is. We have the date here at the top. We have AI features for front and back, playback, a few other settings to see that we have GPS, and we have Wi-Fi enabled as well. We get our speed as well as direction of travel, and we can pause the recording here. You can also swipe from the left to change the camera. So we just switch to the zoom camera, and we can just do full screen for the wide angle camera. Now, if we go to the menu, we can disable or enable the microphone. So just like that. We can also disable or enable the speaker or turn off the volume. Same for Wi-Fi and the AI features for front and back. Now we also have the playback buttons right here, so we can go to the events, normal or photos. So if you go to normal, here's all the stuff that's been recorded and you can play it super easily. It goes very quickly. and it plays it very smoothly as well. And the same thing with photos or events. Events is based on the G sensor, so if the G sensor detects a problem, it will go into that folder instead of the regular folder. We'll take a closer look at other settings in just a minute, but first I thought we should see how the driver assist features work. At this point, the camera is basically in default mode, as I suspect not everyone will spend a lot of time going through the settings.
Front car starting.
Anyway, I wasn't sure how well these so-called AI features would work. It seems that everything is powered by AI nowadays, but even at the first intersection, it proved itself to be helpful.
Watch out for the front car. Watch out for the front car.
So if you're approaching the car very rapidly, it will warn you. I still think AI is just a buzzword here, mostly because it's much harder to explain to people that this just has a powerful CPU and uses some clever algorithms to recognize patterns. So that first one we saw was the forward vehicle start alarm that warns us when the light has turned green and the car in front of you has started moving. The second warning we saw was the forward collision warning. Very helpful when you didn't realize you are still accelerating towards a car that may be slowing down or is stopped. The lane departure warning came on at least a dozen times until I did the AI calibration. So that's probably something you want to do first. It was a lot more useful after the calibration. The system is also great at detecting pedestrians.
Watch out for pedestrians.
Very helpful in the city so that if you're looking the other way, you don't accidentally start driving while someone is walking in front of you. Lastly, it also has blind spot detection, but that's only represented by a red line on the camera itself, so I wouldn't fully rely on it. Now, are these essential to have in your dash camera? Absolutely not, but it could make you a safer driver, and it's better than nothing, especially if your car doesn't have any of these features. Now, if we go back to the menu here, we can also go into the settings, and here we have recording settings. So at the moment we have full resolution on all three cameras, and that's exactly what I'm going to keep them as. We also have this ARC camera IQ something something. Yes, we are inside the car, dark colored film, so that's cool. We have options for that. Very nice to see. WDR, definitely want to keep that on. HDR, definitely want to keep that on. It should help a lot if you're driving into the sun and things like that. We can also have date stamp, GPS stamp, and we can also go to system settings where we can change the Wi-Fi settings from 5G to 2.4 gigahertz if we want. I'm going to keep it at 5G because it will be faster connecting to my phone and transferring the data. Power on sound, I'm going to turn that off. Touchscreen sound, I'm going to turn that off. Also keep English. Speed unit, we're going to change that to miles an hour. Frequency 60 hertz, that is correct. We also have indicators, so those are probably these LEDs right here. I'm just going to leave them on, that's fine. So yeah, pretty good to see all these options in here and very easy to navigate. And of course you can format your micro SD card from there as well. And the last option here is the AI settings. So if we go into the AI settings, we have the front AI, so we can enable all these different settings. We also have front AI correction, so we can calibrate it. Rear camera AI, sure. Rear collision warning. Blind spot assist, very nice. Speech recognition, yes, you can talk to this thing as well. Fatigue driver reminder, no, not going to be needing that. Yeah, looks pretty good. I'm going to drive with this camera for a few days and we'll see how it goes. Well, it's been a few days and I have some driving footage to show you. Let's start with the front telephoto camera. This is the zoom camera that has the Sony Starvis 2 IMX 675 5 megapixel sensor with a 41-degree field of view. This basically means that you get a really high sensor that is optically zoomed in, so you can capture license plates from much further away than with a more regular wide-angle camera. Notice how well it captures dark and bright parts of the scene. This is thanks to the HDR and the WDR capabilities of the camera. The sky is not blown out and the shadows are not totally dark. At night, we can still get a great picture and the refresh rate remains the same, which is great to see as most cameras struggle with low light situations and cut down the refresh rate to almost unusable. No matter how good the sensor and the lens are, you still won't be able to capture everything, and that's where the main benefit of this camera system comes in. You get a second chance of capturing that incident or event as you have a second camera pointing in the same direction. but with a 135-degree field of view. The wide-angle camera has the Sony Starvis 2 IMX335 5-megapixel sensor that's almost as good as the telephoto one. It may not be able to capture very fine details of a license plate, especially at night, but it sure sets the scene with how much it captures. The rear camera is another upgrade on this camera. It uses the same IMX335 sensor as the wide-angle camera and captures really great videos, even when I mounted it pointing at the defroster lines and without cleaning the rear glass first. I love that you can tell the camera to adjust for tinted glass, as mine is definitely tinted and most cameras struggle to show anything, especially at night. With some streetlights or headlights from other cars, you can see enough details to make it very usable, and even in almost absolute darkness, you can make out what is happening, which is very impressive. If you're wondering about the app, it was very easy to set up. First, you connect the camera's Wi-Fi. The password is 0123456778. Then you go to the app and it automatically detects the new camera. I let it upgrade the firmware on the camera, which only took a couple of minutes, and then reconnect it to the camera. Once connected, you are presented with a simple interface where you can view any of the three cameras as well as pause and resume recording. You also have access to the recorded files where you can download them or watch them directly from the camera. The download speed was much faster than expected thanks to the 5 GHz connection, and it only took a minute and 15 seconds to download 3 minutes worth of footage. Lastly, you can adjust some camera settings from the app if you don't like going through the camera menu. So, what do you think of this AKEEYO Eyes Bionic Vision system? I came in a little skeptical, but I think I've been converted and I will be installing this one in one of my cars as a permanent camera system. I still refuse to call it AI, but the smart features are pretty useful. I would love to hear your opinions down below. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!